at one point I switched over to working until 5 a.m. so that I would have all the lab equipment to myself. And I worked very long hours. And yeah, it was, but I loved it. You know, so what you do is basically try to come up with an idea. How are you going to find what you're trying to find? And I tried several things before I hit on the right one. But it took taking a recently developed technique and then changing that, modifying that, so kind of adding some layers onto that, and then pulling in some other way to analyze the data. So basically I used PCR, which at that time was a relatively new technique, but I modified it so that I developed a combinatorial PCR approach. So I made the assumption that these proteins in the nose would be at least distantly related to other proteins that served as receptors or detectors on the surface of other cell types. There were some of these known, and there was some evidence that suggested that the proteins in the nose might transduce signals to the interior of the cell using similar mechanisms to some other receptors.